Champions, welcome. The squares have aligned and bingo is nigh. It's time for Elden Square Season 3. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, we have the team from Germany who travels into space to destroy all the asteroids. Their primary DLC player is a man who's done every single challenge run in the book. He has been in the Golden Order before and looking to continue his illustrious bingo career as he looks to pull his team from the depths for a late playoff push this season. This man has previously let us know at the start of the game that he has a small peepee, but he's looking to overcompensate for it today with a fantastic line of play. It is none other than Serious Challenges and his teammate, the man who has crafted the art of looting. He is the author on the book. A whole new method of looting has been named after him. It is called Vakrashian looting. He came in third place in the last Rookie Rumble and has proven that he belongs and continues to make a statement here on the Golden Order stage. It is none other than Vakrash and their opponents. Fighting out of the blue corner, this team is full of bingo and modding pedigree as they look to continue their quest towards the Elden Squares title. Their primary base game player is someone who is new to the Golden Order, but you would not know it based on the way that he plays. He's an accomplished rando player and bingo player who has now put his talents fully on display. It is none other than the engine of the base game for time complexity, Mr. Sci-Fi Code, and his teammate, a man who needs no introduction, as he is the reigning, defending, undisputed Elden Bingo Lord. It is none other than Shura the Absolute. Now let's get ready to run that board and square off. Serious, take my stream down. All right. I think we are ready to go here. Are you ready to go here, cronies?
I am ready.
Then here we go. We will go ahead and get started. Big game here today as Time Complexity looks to continue to fight for those top two seeds and Astro Destroyers look to keep their season alive. Center square prediction, cronies.
I am going to go with 3 Catacombs.
I will go with Melania until it appears. And Egon's Cookbooks is the center square here on this board. That is obviously a DLC square. In terms of some of the other DLC squares we have Metter, Remembrance Boss, Remembrance Weapon only. Metter being one of the latest DLC squares, or latest square in the entire set. Castle bosses and night bosses, while not a DLC square, have great synergy with Rolana. Remembrance Boss daggers or fists only, actually in the exact same spot that it was in game 1 today. You could look to use that as a way of getting into the DLC. We also have 4 remembrances. I'm going to star that as a DLC square because it basically is, even though it technically is not. Tree Spirit and Bellarat, 5 DLC bosses, Midra and Dancing Lion. So overall, a pretty light DLC board, but that being said, we do have those big kills. I know we were talking about wanting to see Cronies ensure a race for them. And with Midra, Dancing Lion, Metter, and DLC Remrem, as well as Remembrance Bosses, I'm sure we'll get our fair share of those big kills here today in the DLC. In terms of the base game, we have Moog, Lord of Blood on the board, Roundtable Knight Vike. Grail without percentage-based damage is a very common rush square, believe it or not. But overall, a lot of counting squares here in the base game. Physic tiers, Onyx Alabaster Lords, Demi Human Queens, Catacombs, Altus Bosses. Pretty interesting here. I need to refresh the streams as players are quite a bit behind. But Cronies, what is your take on this board?
Yeah, there's not a lot of DLC on this board. We have a couple squares, but overall it's pretty base game heavy. And like you said, Grail without status is a pretty common rush. I expect to see at least one of the base game players push for that. There's also Moglord of Blood, which is a big kill. It really gets you a lot of money, and it's also a Lord boss and one of your DLC entries, which you don't really need, especially without any base plus DLC combined squares, but it's still an option for players. And you also have Vike, like you had mentioned. He's really scary, but that's another way you can get some money online for setting up your late game. So I'm really interested to see how players are gonna play out this board. I think Altus Hero's Grave is another really good rush. It's on a diag. It's an easy first square you can get, and it can be an Altus boss if you want to greed the synergy there with the Hero's Grave and Altus versus Gelmir. So I'm really curious to see how this is gonna play out.
Yeah, I am too. We saw Shura there pulling up the weapon calculator to try to calculate how much it will be to upgrade his weapon. I'm curious. It doesn't look like the best weapon seed here. Like Asteroid Destroyers have already kind of picked what they want. Sirius going with the Spiked Club. Meanwhile, Vikrash is going with the Meteoric Ore Blade. We'll see what Shura decides to go with here. Looking like he's gonna pick the Celebrant Skull. Great hammer. Also, hey, 10 runes per hit on any boss, right? That's huge. Let's go. And Sci-Fi here will be going with a large club. So we have a lot of stick weapons in this game in Meteoric Ore Blade. We have 3 different wooden sticks, and the Meteoric Ore Blade here should be a pretty interesting one.
Yeah, the weapons were looking pretty bad. I believe I saw the regular dagger in a starting class, but it doesn't look like anybody started with that. So I don't think we'll see Remembrance Boss daggers or fists as a rush. I don't really like this square as a rush too much either, unless it's a super DLC heavy board, and then that's a really good way for your base game player to get in. But that's not really the case on this, so I don't think we'll be seeing that anytime soon.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. I do think this board probably favors Sirius and Vikrash just a little bit, being a bit more of a non-standard board. I think favors them, right? Just slightly here in terms of how the board is going. I'll be interested to see that Meteoric Ore Blade, how it performs. It's one of my favorite weapons in base game bingo, but at higher weapon levels, it does fall off quite a bit. It's not nearly as strong. So we'll see how it performs for Vikrash here. As all the players are off and underway, Vikrash does have a little bit of stream delay, so he's not quite as slow as it looks there.
Oh, Vikrash out of the gate with a death.
Yeah, he just barely missed that tree stump or that log. So a death to start today, not what you want to see. Sirius doing his normal routing. Sirius does like to get the 4s. Likes to go to plus 12 before going for the rush, the Godric Granola. In a lot of ways that makes sense, because if you're, depends how you're planning on upgrading. You normally players go to plus 9 before doing Godric Granola. That being said, if you are planning on doing the forts route in the DLC to upgrade your weapon, you need to pick up those 4s in Caelid anyway, so I think it makes perfect sense to grab those. But that does just indicate that he's looking to go forts to upgrade his weapon after going into the DLC.
I'm really curious if any of the players here are going to do some weapon checks. Obviously, a lot of these weapons are definitely usable, but you want to maybe get something a little more powerful than the spiked club or just the regular wooden club. It'll get you by, but there's definitely better options, so I'm interested if they'll check Bella Merchant or anything on the way.
Bella Merchant, or at least I'm surprised I haven't seen a great sword check here at Gatefront. At the very least. Also, what's up, Tony? It's great to see you, Tony. Welcome back. I know Tony, one of the fantastic players in the Crucible. He was away for a few weeks for job obligations, but he is now back, and it's great to see you, man. Great to have you back.
You know, strangely enough, we're not seeing any of the players rush Grail on this board. So I think the way that Shura and Sai play is they sometimes look at the best square on the board or a good opening square and then plan around blocking that. So I wonder if that's what they're doing here with Grail. Maybe Sai is going to end up rushing Misbegotten Crusader instead and let the other team take Grail, and then they just shut down that square entirely.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they're not pushing it, honestly, though. Just granted, though, you don't have bleed, right? Maybe they go +9 and then push it. Because I will say, just going off of player tendencies here, the crash does not tend to go for the early big kills, right? As a base game player. So I would think that Hero without percent base damage would be a fairly free square to go for them, just given tendencies. But playing into tendencies can be a double-edged sword, right?
Absolutely. And honestly, I think if Sai goes Crusader first, Large Club will be really good because you can just R1 spam and you get a free fight essentially with that. I wonder if he'll do Crusader into Moog Lord of Blood, because that Crusader will set him up pretty nicely, and then he can just blast a Remembrance and get all of the money he will need for this entire match.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of curious to see.
And it looks like Sci-Fi and Shura are going for some non-standard routing, as they're going to get both players into Altus first before worrying about DLC access. Meanwhile, Sirius is just doing a pretty standard DLC rush, most likely here.
Yeah, I think I like this play from Shura and Sai a little more. There's not a ton of synergy in the DLC. You do have a couple boss kills, but they're kind of scattered around. The biggest thing is Dancing Lion and Tree Spirit and Bellarat. So I think they might just plan up on giving all of the DLC and just hope they can beat out Vakrash in base game.
Yeah. I mean, 2v1ing Vakrash in base game could be pretty effective, right? We normally see Vakrash, their team style is pretty interesting the way that they play. Vakrash just normally tries to, we'll see him double prep squares and look to just split squares always. Trying to just keep even with the other base game player, and then hope that Sirius can get the advantage in the DLC. That tends to be their kind of standard play style, right? But if you were to 2v1 Vakrash in the base game, right, that kind of play style, that more passive play style, just looking to split squares and keep even, could be a downfall, right?
Yeah, especially on a DLC board that's a bit weaker. Sirius can't really quite get the advantage that he needs to make up for the loss that would happen in base game.
Yeah, because Shura also, I saw chat talking about it. Shura might be looking at Moog Lord of Blood into the DLC.
Yeah, that would be quite the rush, but I have heard him talk about it before.
Sirius there cuts it a little close as the Burger King started shooting at him, but does get through there with that skip. Very nicely done. A skip that we've seen cause players quite a bit of trouble.
Man, everybody just going through Makar.
Yeah, you were I gotta give credit to you, because you were the earliest adapter of this, right? You felt like Makar was super strong very early on, back when it was really not meta at all, but now it's the meta, right?
Yeah, I wasn't so sure, but I wanted to keep trying the timing on it, because I saw something there, but I think with the way the format was set up, it wasn't. It was just slower and a little bit weaker, but with the way the format is now, Makar is, we see it every game. Makar is just incredibly good to go.
Yeah, the amount of and it's something that we didn't think about, because in past base game bingo formats, Makar is always the weakest, right? Way into the DLC. Yeah. It's more common for newer players, right? But at the highest level, you very rarely see Makar. So it's pretty surprising to see it all the time here. We'll go full screen with Sirius as he goes in for the Red Wolf. Also want to give a shout out Stakes. Thank you so much for the raid, man. Really appreciate it. If anyone does not know Stakes, he is one of the great players in the Crucible and also a fantastic ambassador for bingo, as he has helped get so many people involved in the sport and constantly looks to help others get into the game. And just he's a great guy and a great streamer. So if you are not already following him and can give him a follow, that would be greatly appreciated. Stakes, thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a great stream. Very
Really nice
nicely done
solo
by
fight there.
Sirius.
Even getting the riposte for the finisher. And I will say, I think Spiked Club is a pretty decent weapon. It has a bit of a weird charged R2, and I'm not sure how the scaling is, but it is decent poise-wise, and it has bleed, and of course, these players are going to put the frost on it, so I think it has some real value to be really solid here.
And we do see a great sword check there from Shura. It is Alabaster Lord Sword. I bet they're probably wishing that they checked that earlier, as both players on their team are now fully set up for smithing, right? If they would have checked that earlier, it would have been absolutely huge for them, because that weapon is probably the best weapon that we've seen so far, but I can't imagine it'll get any usage. And Vikrash missing out on it as well, as he, I'm sure, would have rather had that than the Meteoric Ore Blade. We will go full screen here with our two base game players, Vikrash or primary base game players, Vikrash and Sci-Fi, as they are both racing through Makar. Thank you so much for the 11 months. Appreciate all the support, man. Thank you. Vikrash in some trouble there, gets out of it.
Interesting jump from Saya. I had no idea you could jump over that attack.
Sirius takes out Margit there. Yeah, I find it very interesting.
Really
Oh, and
nice.
actually Shura is going with Alabasters.
He might not have leveled into the Celebrants Club yet.
Yeah, I find this...
Nice use of Horfrost Stomp, too, from Sci-Fi.
I think this game is going to be very interesting, right? Very rarely do we see players with split strategies in terms of how they set up their maps at the start of the game, right? As Vikrash does get through Makar very cleanly, and it'll be interesting to see how the differing early game strategies work out for these two teams here. Sci-Fi
Sirius
gets
also
down.
killed Gostock.
Does he just hate Gostock?
I guess so.
I mean, he does a lot of rando. That might have been a not thinking rando pilled
Muscle
moment
memory.
because you always
Yeah.
kill Gostock and rando because he is a merchant.
Very interesting tech there.
I mean, technically speaking, he could do it if he could do a dagger check.
Yeah,
Like
that's what I was
he could
thinking.
go turn that bell bearing in. Yeah, it's possible that merchant has a dagger or fist weapon. Because
That would be crazy tech.
yeah, if anyone's thinking about the fist weapon in round table, that is removed because you start in round table, so that check is not available to the players. Very common check in base game singles, but due to the players starting in round table, that weapon check is removed.
Yeah, pretty much the best synergy you can get with a weapon check is doing the Liurnia Haligtree, because the Liurnia Haligtree half, because you get a dagger check there, and then you get invaded by Insha for a fist check right after.
No,
And
it's not
that's
always a dagger.
not
It's just a
viable here.
merchant check dagger. Like you'd be playing a big lottery there. All right, he doesn't go for it. I'm guessing it was just an autopilot moment. That's why he killed him.
Yeah.
Because I don't think the
Potentially
gamble
really
is
cool
worth
tech,
it.
though.
Yeah, but it's such a gamble.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it. We'll go full screen with Sirius here as he goes for Godric.
Really nice transition timing on this fight.
Yeah, and it looks like Vikrash is just going to get Upgroot to a +9 as fast as possible. Sirius gets that down, very nicely done there. Inshura might be looking to go Radon here into the DLC.
Yeah, this would be a bit of an interesting one, but I guess if you don't need to get in DLC immediately, you may as well do Radahn. Get a Somber Stone here too.
Yeah,
I
would
will
also
say
open
though.
up a castle boss for him. Radahn
Oh yeah,
himself,
that's a
not a
good
castle
point.
boss, but he could look to go Crucible Knight Misbegotten Warrior duo into Rilana in Godric to get 3 castle bosses there, and also would be 2 night bosses in Rilana and Crucible Knight.
I kind of wish that Vakrush had gone to Lake of Rot for upgrades. Personally, I like Lake of Rot more than Snowfields for upgrades, but there is an Onyx Lord and a Dragonkin in there, and if you go across the lake, you can get your 6 on the other side. So I kind of would have liked to see that in a little bit of a double prep fashion there, but
And
he
I think
is going
Vakrash is going
straight
to
to
make
this Avatar.
Yeah, Vakrash is going to make a very early play for the Avatar. This will give him a lot of juice and some physic tiers, right? Not a very
Yeah,
common
and
play, but I think it makes this is one of these plays that like it's not the most optimal, but if it saves you a death at any point during the game, because you have the extra juice, it makes your early game much more comfortable. I think that makes a lot of sense, right? Because I know we see a lot of players,
yeah,
especially like this is the highest level, going for like optimal and just betting on themselves to go hitless, right? But it doesn't always work out, right? Margins being so slim, there's always room for mistakes.
yeah. I think something else to mention though is this Avatar drops the crystal tier that makes your successive attacks do more damage, which will, if he puts in the physic, be a nice little damage boost for the katana he has.
Yeah, and you could combo that with Rotten Winged, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
As we have Sirius here in on Renala, I'm gonna go back to the main screen here, as that's probably the best way to show off these fights. Vakrash moving to the bottom left. Yeah, and to be said, this is not an easy fight here necessarily for Vakrash, as granted it is just an Erdtree avatar, but he has to do this hitless.
Looks like Sai here is headed to Elmer too for castle bosses and some Revenant synergy. This is a really interesting one.
And Altus bosses.
Oh yeah, that too.
Vakrash is almost done here. Meanwhile, Shura and Sci-Fi are both walking into their respective fights. Very nicely done there. We got Radahn on the screen. Let's go full screen with Shura here for Radahn. You can see Sci-Fi in the bottom right working on Elmer. And that's, that's the first big kill there for Vakrash, right? And if that makes him feel a lot more comfortable, right? And he's going to have a big advantage on the juice over Sci-Fi, right? He will have a +9 weapon and plenty of health, right? He has 160,000 runes in his pocket. So he's going to be absolutely moving. Meanwhile, Sirius will be by far the first player into the DLC, as he's already there, and Shura is still working on his first Remembrance boss. I kind of will say, I think Sci-Fi going Elmer as a team play doesn't, I could be proven wrong, but that doesn't feel super synergistic. I would think that Shura going Radahn would want to open up castle bosses for him, right? It feels like Sci-Fi and Shura might be stepping on each other's toes a little bit in terms of their opening play.
Yeah, I think this is a little strange. I don't hate it because you do get Altus boss, castle boss, revenants, but Shura also doing Radahn opens castle bosses like you said, so it does feel a little weird.
Yeah, it just feels like they're slightly stepping on each other's toes here. Not that it's necessarily terrible, but like it maybe not the most optimal in terms of team play, right?
Yeah, even as a player, that feels a little bit awkward to do. Sai headed for Crusader here. I think this is a good play for him. Should be a pretty easy fight, and he'll get a lot of juice from this boss.
Yeah, Sirius is just continuing to get set up here in the DLC. He's going to be as strong as you could want.
I think castle bosses for Sirius is actually really, really powerful here. If he goes Rolana, that's a DLC boss. That's his second castle boss, and it's a night boss. And then if he goes to Radahn, he doesn't have Altus yet, so he can do the Misbegotten Crusader duo, which is his last castle boss and another night boss, so he's already sitting on 2 there.
Yeah.
And then he can just, I mean, he doesn't know, but he is alone in the DLC. He can clean up some night bosses and DLC bosses combined, you know, do Edred and Geru for 2 more of each.
Yeah, and it looks like Vikrashir might be looking to take away a little bit of the Altus boss's synergy for Sci-Fi while getting synergy of his own, because he... Oh no, just set... Actually, that was very smart. Just sets up Demi-Human Queens, but now going for the Altus Hero's Grave. Yeah, I gotta say, I think the castle boss decision for Sai there with Altus Hero's Grave on the board, I'm a bit surprised.
Yeah, especially because I didn't see heal. I don't know if any of the players checked Corrin, but I didn't see heal anywhere. So that Revenant score is a bit trickier because one of them in that castle is kind of surrounded by enemies. It's a little bit trickier to deal with. What I would have liked to see is possibly Sai doing the troll on the way to Elemer, because that is a very fast dungeon, and you can get some... You don't need them, but you can definitely get some upgrades in there too.
Well, Sai here is going for the Misbegotten Crusader, so we will go ahead and go full screen with him. Those R1s are very effective. You can just spam the hell out of them. And a second stagger there. I mean, this fight is definitely slower because he's not upgraded, but you know, just keep pounding away, literally, with that hammer.
Yeah.
It looks like Sirius is now making his way towards Ancient Dragon Man. Sci-Fi gets a big stagger there as the double swipe was about to come out, but staggers him out of it. Just about 25% left to go here for Sai. Ooh, that jump R2 was sketchy, but he got it. There comes another stagger. This should just about do it. Maybe one. Oh, needs to be careful. Ooh. Sometimes the Misbegottens can they get like a weird fall after a repose. That's killed me in randos before. I lost a rando deathless to that. And it because they don't get the normal like get up from repose animation, they just immediately start attacking. Normally that's more of a rando thing. I don't see that in their normal arenas pretty often, but it happened there. However, Sci-Fi was only one hit away and able to take it out.
Yeah. Some of the terrain in that arena is a little wonky.
Yep, Vikrash
really nice
completing the
fight.
Hero's Grave. Yeah, we were a little bit behind here on Vikrash's stream, but there it is. And now we have a 1-to-1 game. Sci-Fi here working on the Revenants.
Yeah, this is the one I was talking about. That's a little tricky.
I don't like this Revenant.
This horse guy.
This Revenant scares me. As Sci-Fi's probably going to go down here to poison. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
That Revenant's a bastard because of the horse guy.
Yeah. One time, this was a terrible strat because heal was there, so it was just faster to rush it, but I hit the wall and had him crawl over to me where I could just heal him without him seeing me. That's of course not really viable here, but or in general, honestly, but it was It was interesting.
Yep. As we now have Sirius here going in for ADM, we'll put Sirius and Sai up on the full screen here as Sai continues to work on that Revenant. Shura is now going for Godric in order to get DLC access. However, that fight will be pretty trivial for him at this point.
Really nice stagger timing on Godric again, though.
What is this Revenant fight? It looks ridiculous. Very nicely done by Sirius as he gets ADM down and will now look to claim Cookbook. Sai's in a lot of trouble.
The Wombo combo.
Oh my god!
Oh,
and then Revenant was one hit away, but the ghost horse comes in out of nowhere and kills him. RKO out of nowhere. Randy Orton
crazy.
slithering. Yeah, that's tough for Sci-Fi here, and I mean potentially an early threat here on the diag for Sirius and Crash. The Crash is now actually working on Catacombs. We'll go back with Sci-Fi here. Hopefully the third time is the charm for him.
And it looks like Shura is headed to Bellarat. He might be suspicious that Sirius isn't here yet because he hasn't marked anything. And this is some nice synergy with the 2 squares here, and it blocks the diag.
As Sci-Fi does get that first Revenant down, then the next 2 are pretty easy. He can just go to Lascar Ruins for one, and then get the other one by EG. Sure, there are 2 Revenants
Looks
here?
like... Yeah, it looks like he's going to go for the other one, which is a little bit easier to deal with.
Yeah, this one looks pretty much easier to deal with. We'll go put him back up on the full screen. I mean, really smart by Shura here going into Bellarat. Because that is, like, obviously Sirius is making his play for the center square, right? But Shura will get 2 squares out of this with both Tree Spirit and Bellarat as well as Dancing Lion.
Yeah, I think in some games, players might have some center square blindness where they really want it. I can't really tell from the player's perspective if this is that scenario, because you haven't seen Shura mark anything, so you don't know what he's up to. You don't know if you're racing this or if he's going Bellarat. You don't know what's happening. So
yeah,
I think claiming the center square here is pretty good, but from our perspective, it will get blocked by Tree Spirit and Lion. So it's a little bit weaker.
I also got to say, I'm shocked that no one's gone for Grail without percentage damage. That's a square that is normally gone within the first 15 minutes. Like, this is by far the latest that it will be in any game this season. I know Vikrash doesn't like to go super aggressive mainly because he doesn't like to get sniped, right? But I feel like this is a position where going for Grail without percent-based damage probably a little more valuable than Catacombs, as there pops Revenants.
Yeah, Catacombs is a little bit of an interesting one in this situation, if I'm being completely honest. I guess it builds your line, but now that's been blocked by Revenants.
Yeah. Yeah, Grail without percent-based damage just feels so... Of all the squares on the board, it just feels so free, right? That or Vike are like the 2 easiest isolated kill squares in the base game in terms of access. Obviously, Vike being a much more difficult fight. So yeah, just a little surprised to not see it.
Looks like Sai might be headed to Moog Lord of Blood.
Yeah, I think that you gotta block the diag.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing is that Shura with the Egon cookbook mark, you know Shura's ahead on Tree Spirit and Dancing Lion, so I would put less pressure on it, but it does build your line.
But regardless, right? Like I think this is actually a great play by them, because you either get Mogul, if you get both Mogul to Blood and Dancing Lion, like you just secure your block, right? On that diag, like the odds of both of you getting sniped are so low. But also, if Shura goes Tree Spirit and Bellarat and you get Mogul to Blood, there's a really nasty column 2 setup, especially with Physic Tiers and Metter being 2 of the longest squares in the entire square set, right? That's very annoying to block.
That's a really good point. Yeah, that really sucks to have to deal with. So yeah, you're right. Moglord of Blood is really good here. He's also a Lord boss, which isn't anything crazy, but it is a little bit of progress towards that.
And speaking of Lord bosses, we have Sirius here going for a relatively early Midra here in order to get that square down, but also that will get him a 3rd Remembrance and a 3rd Remembrance, a square, a DLC boss, and a Lord boss. So quite a lot of value here for Sirius with the Midra kill.
Yeah. I think what I'd like to see is possibly Vakraj doing Onyx Lords next. You don't really know how important of a square that's going to be, but if you go to Estelle and you get 2 there, you can take out the 2 boss variants and have 2 Lord bosses. Again, you're kind of stepping on toes there with Sirius going for Midra, but I think that's a good way to synergize that with Lord bosses if you really want that one.
Yep. Sci-Fi here going into Haligtree looking to just upgrade his weapon. Shura here is going to do a check of the Remembrance weapons in order to look for a Remembrance boss with a Remembrance weapon. Has some decent options. Axe of Godric, Greatsword of Damnations, Putrescence Cleaver. All decent. Decides not to go for them though. I think I would have gone for the Cleaver. Especially with the Arcane Talisman that you can buy at Round Table. There's your 5 Arcane.
Either Cleaver or Greatsword of Damnation, I think.
Yeah, it looks like
just for Pierce plus Holy. Sorry,
also, also I just wanted to point out, it looks like after the Catacombs play, Vakrash is saying, screw it, I'm gonna go aggressive here because Sci-Fi and Shura are not and just looking to take Vike.
I like this play too, actually. I don't know why, but I do like this.
Well, I think Vike and Grail are just the 2 fastest squares in the base game at this point, right? Like, just take it.
Yeah.
And it sets you up for Fire Giant later.
Yeah, and Grail is not really dead, but it really loses value with the column 3 there since nobody can get that line anymore. So I think Vike of the 2 is the better play, just the trickier play.
And we will go full screen here with Vakrash and Shura, and we'll be going to the quad screen in just a second once Sirius gets into the Midra fight.
Vakrash has decent damage here.
I mean, he has a +9 Somber, granted no bleed, but I would expect a +9 Somber to do some work, right?
Yeah, I'm impressed, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Oreblade is a weapon. It scales very well with weapon level, right? Where it's really bad in like DLC rando. Where it falls off is that it is a 3 stat scaling weapon. Like strength, dex, and int all scale well. So as a result, once you actually start pumping levels into it and getting scaling that way, it really falls off comparative to other weapons. But Sirius is now in on Midra, and Sci-Fi is making his way towards Moglord of Blood. So we're going to go ahead and go to the quad screen here. Shura top right fighting Dancing Lion, Sirius top left fighting Midra, Vakrash bottom left fighting Vike, and Sci-Fi in the bottom right making his way towards Moog.
Vakrash goes down to Vike.
Vakrash does go down.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate.
I didn't see how it happened. There's too much going on.
Big bleed and stagger there for Sirius.
I have never seen someone dodge Midra's transition like that. That was beautiful.
Well, I still have never seen it because I didn't see that.
He just ran straight away from him. There's no turning or anything.
I was watching Shura fighting the lion. So much eye candy on the screen here.
Yeah.
Sci-Fi's getting prepped and gonna walk into Moog any second here.
This will be Shura and Sirius's third remembrance. I wonder if they plan to just go for it for 4 after this.
Yeah. I mean, Shura did set up the Rolana Grace. As Shura
might
gets
check
that down.
the lion? Maybe not. It's not gonna greed for the double mark.
Sirius is gonna get
nice
Midra down there.
Sirius.
Yeah, really nice, really clean from Sirius. We'll put Vikrash and Sci-Fi up on the dual screen here as they are going for Vike and Moog respectively, except holy shit. We have a Rolana race. Both players have the Grace prepped.
Shura has just a little bit of a lead here.
Yeah, but Sirius has dual status. Shura has none.
Yeah. I don't know which weapon Rolana's weaker to.
All right, chat. We got to go
Probably
back to the
dual
quad
status.
screen. We got to go back to the quad screen here. This will be a really pivotal race, especially because Shura has depleted 2 of the best DLC bosses for DLC boss with a remembrance weapon only if he loses out on this. And Vikrash is gonna, I know you guys can't see the board right now because we got everything up, but oh wait, never mind, I'm stupid. I got my red and blue mixed up. Still a big race. Not as big as I was building.
Vikrash does take down Vike there though.
Yeah, believe it or not, we're actually going to move Sci-Fi to the small screen in the bottom left, bottom right, as we will have Sirius and Shura going head-to-head on Rolana here.
Oh, this will be close.
Yeah.
Shura getting really aggressive with some of these punishes here. He probably knows he's racing.
Yeah, has to. With the Midra mark, it's a race. They both know that they're racing.
Shura's damage is slightly better, but double status.
Yeah, Sirius has that burst damage though of those status procs, right? And the stance damage is also absolutely fantastic for Sirius as well. As Sirius has taken the lead here. God, they are neck and neck. Stream delay between them is absolutely dead even. It's not like you're watching any major difference. Really nice jump punish there from Sirius on the thrust. Sirius doesn't quite get the strafe, and that'll make him lose out on a charge or two. Sirius has opened up quite a big lead, actually.
Yeah, this is looking like it's going to come down to Sirius's double status.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we said we wanted to see at the start of the game, right? We wanted to see these 2 players going head-to-head in the DLC. As Sirius gets absolutely clocked, they're down to 1 HP, and this is a brutal move that comes up, and Sirius goes down. Sirius goes down. Shura has a free run at this now.
That's gonna cost him if Shura finishes this out.
Yeah, the question is now, can Shura this finishes out? Meanwhile, in other news, Sci-Fi is absolutely doing work on Moog Lord of Blood.
Stagger on Rolana. She goes down here to this charged R2, I think. I lied.
Shura just 1 hit away. And he gets it.
Nicely done.
4 remembrances will go to time complexity. Shura had no business winning that race, but, you know, the gods of this game look out for him.
Finishes castle bosses now.
Yeah, and there goes
that's what it looks like.
And there pops Moog Lord of Blood there for Shura or Sci-Fi as well, as this game is now tied up at 5-5. It looks like Sirius is continuing to fight this out, looking at castle bosses and night bosses, but Shura probably going to punish him on that. Man, that was such an unfortunate. Sirius was doing absolutely beautifully, and then he got ripped apart, got tagged by some combo, and then straight into the worst possible move, right? Unfortunate set of RNG, but game is game. One, you know, bingo is live, one take, and that was really unfortunate for him to have his one major mistake be right before she goes into the hardest attack to dodge hitless.
Yeah, and it looks like both Sai and Vakrashi are trying to synergize demi-human queens and some Altus bosses here.
I will say I think Vakrash is better set up for it, as Vakrash did prep the Gaze by what Margot, whatever the hell that one is, on the way to the Altus Hero's grave. I can't remember the name.
Yeah, I don't know either. I think Sai is looking to finish off Altus bosses though over Demi Queens.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to shut
take
down
Rolana
the board
down
here.
quite easily at the second time of asking, but I think that one death is gonna really hurt him, as he is now behind on, well, he was always behind on castle bosses, but if he tries to push this. Maggie is the name by the Craftsman check. Thank you so much, Dagger. Yeah, and he's going Leonine and just gonna get straight up sniped here.
Yeah.
Like, he was always gonna lose castle bosses, right? Always.
Yeah.
Because Shura did Radon, but losing both of those is absolutely devastating.
Yeah, Sai really greeting a lot here for the Altus synergy with Castle Boss, which he didn't claim, and then Demi Queen and now Lord
Cronies,
Boss
you are.
too.
This might be me. You are El Robot.
Oh boy.
All right, you're good now. You're good now. I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah, that was just it like hurt my
Discord
brain.
classic.
Yeah. And here we have Mr. Challenges going for the 4-time champion, Idrid Black Knight. Shout out the 4-time champ. Are you aware of the 4-time champ lore, Cronies?
I don't need to be. Thank you though.
For anyone
Sure,
who's
having
curious,
some trouble.
Harv died to Idrid 4 times in a row in a Crucible game.
Ah, I see. Easy mistake to make.
Well, it was
Just like-
technically only 3 times, but then he pivoted out to go for a Bloodhound Knight to finish off night bosses, and he died to a skip, so I gave that one to Idrid as well.
Fair enough. Just like his legendary counterpart, Bowls.
Yes. Vakrashir is looking to continue to work on Altus bosses, as well as get some Physic tiers here, because Shura has a massive prio on the Tree Spirit and Bellarat. Sirius here is going to finish out DLC bosses with Dane. Is this 5? Midra, ADM, Rolana, Idrid, Dane. Yes, that is 5. That will be 5 for Sirius. Vikrash will claim, I would think, his 3rd or 4th Altus boss here. And yes, continue to get those Physic tiers, because they are staring down the barrel of this very annoying column 2, as finally we see Shura at 41 minutes go for Grail without percent base damage. Pretty shocking to see this square sit on the board for this long, but it has.
Yeah. I think it's good to go ahead and grab it now.
Crony's thinking to himself, man, I would have rushed this with a +0. What are all these scrubs doing? But they decide to take it out now.
Yeah, I think it's good to go ahead and clean up some of these faster squares just to make sure you can stay ahead and keep your prio there.
And Sci-Fi is working on the Lord bosses here. He's done
Yeah, he's
Lord of
doing a
Blood
nice-
and now an Onyx Lord. Then he's gonna go kill Loretta and the Onyx Lord after that, and that'll finish out Lord bosses for Sai.
He's doing a nice job synergizing as much as he can with Altus bosses here. There's not much, but he's managing.
Yeah, I think this is shaping up to be a pretty tense end game here. I would give slight edge to the time complexity. That being said, though, you know, one snipe in this thing pivots the whole other way, right? I would, if Sirius got the Rolana there, even with the castle boss's snipe, it'd be the other way, right?
Yeah. Vakrash making some nice pathing here with Demi Queen, Physic tier, and then this avatar for some more Physic tiers.
Yeah, that's that Vakrashian looting, right?
Absolutely.
As
Man, I
there we
wish
see the Grail
Vakrash
Mark
and-
for Shura.
I
Time
wish
complexity
Vakrash and
takes.
Sirius would slide up so I can see what they have.
Looks like Sirius here is now making his way into the Altus Plateau, and Shura here is now going to finish night bosses. Shura is doing the Shura thing and continuing to sit on Tree Spirit and Bellarat, right? And Vakrash and Sirius are not making him pay for it. I gotta say, we'll be very interested to see, particularly as we go into playoffs, right? You know, how do teams? Everyone knows that Shura is going to prep, right, and hold. That's just what he does. Yeah. The question is, does someone decide to punish it? In the playoffs, or does Shura adapt his play style and, you know, call people out, right? Like, that's once you get into playoff bingo, it's mind games, right? And I'm very excited to see how those mind games work out.
Yeah. It's just an unfortunate position to be in, because if you go all the way to Tree Spirit to claim that square, yeah, you get the square, but you spend a lot of time to go grab that. And that's more of a square specific scenario here, but that's kind of the unfortunate thing is sometimes if you do go claim that square, you waste a lot of time getting it.
Yeah.
So it's overall not quite worth it.
Sci-Fi takes down Loretta there, and he's going to make his way to the Onyx Lord as he will get his final Onyx Lord down, and then it'll be an 8-6 game favoring time complexity. Sorry, I juked myself out because Vakrash and Sirius have them Vakrash has him and Sirius listed as blue on his stream, and I was like, wait, have my colors been confused this whole time?
Yeah. Vakrash still says Lemon and Crony too.
Yeah.
A little outdated, but that's okay.
Shura here is gonna finish night bosses.
Sai's about to finish up Lord bosses. I imagine he'll probably head into Onyx Lords next.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing I will say though is Vakrash and Sirius have really good prio here. They have priority on Altus bosses, priority on Demi-Human Queens, priority on Physic tiers, priority on Fire Giant, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, all the priorities on the side of Vakrash there, and the question is, how much can he actually claim, right? As there goes Lord bosses, officially making it 8-6. By the way, if anyone is new here, this is Elden Squares Bingo, base game plus DLC Bingo. This league is open to players of all skill levels, as we have 3 different divisions. And we run leagues every 3 months. The next league will be starting in January. You're currently watching the Golden Order. That is the top division here. as we have these two teams going at it. And if you do want to get into the game of bingo or randomizer racing or whatever it may be, come join the Ignite team. We have coaches who can help you out, help you get into the game, help you improve. Doesn't matter what your background is, we'd love to help you out and love to help get you into the game. So come check out Ignite, and we'd love to have you. Also, even if you're not a player, there's also practice games, and like I said, there are 3 leagues. Not every single game is commentated, right? So you can watch games in the Discord that happen there, as we got a lot of bingo action going on. So if you like watching this sort of stuff, come join us for watch parties in the Discord and get to know the community a little bit more. As Shura just takes care of, I believe, his 5th night boss.
I'm not sure. I think it was 5.
And there goes Physic Tears for Vikrash, so he does go ahead and secure that block on the road column 2, sorry. The question remains, though, is that he still has priority on Altus bosses, Fire Giant, and Demi-Human Queens. How much of it can he actually get, right? He had to spend a lot of time going to do those Physic Tears. He did route it beautifully, but that still is a very long square. And as we see it right now, Shura is making his way towards the Fire Giant. Is he looking to do Vike
on the way? Yeah, for his last one, and then straight into Fire Giant. I think
Sci-Fi's about to finish Onyx Lords here.
I think if Shura gets Fire Giant, this game becomes very, very hard for Sirius and Vikrash to come back from.
Yeah, I would agree. There goes the Onyx Alabaster Lords mark for Sai. Let's go full screen here with Vikrash as he goes to fight DTS. I want to say this is his last Altus boss, not 100%.
I think he has 2. Because he did Gillica.
Did he do Maggie?
That's in Gelmir.
Oh, right. Duh. That doesn't count. So he's done Gillica.
Yeah. I think he did one other.
He did Gillica, Bellbearing Hunter, and the Tree Spirit, I guess, is also Gelmir, right? So no, he's quite a bit of ways from this. I was thinking of base game bingo. Oh, he didn't even kill the Bellbearing Hunter. Yeah, so he still has quite a bit of ways to go for Altus bosses here.
That is an interesting DTS kill. I guess just for the Altus boss. And it gets you some money too, because he hasn't had a... Well, he had Vike, I guess. He had a big kill.
Yeah, and he had the Tree Spirit. And he had not the Tree Spirit, the Putrid Avatar at the start of the game. Like, he's juiced money-wise.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think he's just trying to double prep both of these and hope he can get at least one, if not both.
I mean, I think he will get Queens here, because he already killed the one in Weeping. He already killed Maggie. Or he already killed Gillica, and now he goes Maggie, and then he'll just need one more. But this is a Gelmir boss, not an Altus one.
Yeah, I think the problem here is Shura's headed to Fire Giant. He has night bosses set up, which he could get sniped on. I don't think he will, though. And then it looks like Sai is just going to finish off Altus bosses, which puts them at 12. And then you claim your Tree Spirit Prio.
Bro, how is Sirius actually about to miss mark? It's DLC. Does he not read? It's DLC Remembrance Boss. DLC Remembrance Boss. We'll go full screen here with for Fire Giant.
Do we have a ref on call, or is this my responsibility to...
You think it's your responsibility?
Okay. That is unfortunate.
I understand the last one, but this very clearly says DLC Remembrance Boss with a Remembrance weapon only.
Yeah, the only thing I can think is that DLC remembrance, meaning like you get your remembrance from a DLC, or you get your weapon from a DLC remembrance. Well, never mind. It says kill a DLC remembrance boss. So
Yeah.
I could still understand if that's how he interpreted it, but unfortunate. Anyway.
There goes
Oh,
Altus
and
bosses.
he goes down to Radon.
I mean, whether he marks it or not, that's just such a time waste. Like, it's probably gonna. I wondered what he was working on. That's probably going to seal this game. Okay, he does realize it and pivots out, but.
Wow, really interesting tech from Shura there. Hit Fire Giant's hand when he's summoning the fireballs, and then sprint past both. And then get blasted.
Yeah, I've seen. There's some Fire Giant tech that you would never know of because it's not hitless, but that you see that a lot in like randomizer racing and stuff when you can take a hit, right?
Yeah. It is fun to see fast strats like that.
Shura's gonna take Fire Giant, and then Vikrash will take Demi-Human Queens. The problem is Sci-Fi's going Dagger Fist, and I think Shura at this point just cleans up Tree Spirit and Bellarat, and then after Dagger's Fist, that would be all she wrote, right?
Yeah. I think in this case, it's kind of tricky because Sirius doesn't really have a Dagger Fist he can use for a base game remembrance. Like, there's nothing really left for him there. So that's a pretty tricky square for him to get, but he's also behind on Queens. So it's an awkward situation of Sirius doesn't have the ability to do several of these squares.
Yeah.
That you need to get. Like, the only thing he could have really done is go Dragonkin or finish off Night Bosses, which is what he's doing now.
I mean, Shura's also at 4 Night Bosses. Shura could just as easily go Night Bosses instead of Tree Spirit and Bellarat here.
Yeah. Is this... How many does Sirius have? Is this his third one, I think? I don't think he can...
I mean, regardless, it's not going to matter because Shura... Because Sci-Fi isn't being contested on Dagger's Fist only, right? So, and he has Reduvia. He's gonna have a +4 Reduvia, right? So then Shura only needs to claim one of the remaining 2 squares.
Yeah, and it's probably safe to go for this one.
Yeah.
+4 Reduvia. Lank would be so proud.
Lank would be so proud. Lank, who has done all bosses hitless with the Reduvia only.
Not to be nitpicky, but I have to make a joke. Reduvia only, but not really, because Team Hitless rules. Still, like, actually an insane run, though. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
We'll go full screen here with Shura as they are looking to close this game out here with Tree Spirit and Bellarat, and then Sci-Fi Dagger Fist only. That will give them the win, and they will officially eliminate the Asteroid Destroyers from playoff contention, and they will now move to 6-2 on the season, with 1 game left there. Sci-Fi and Shura not fully in control of their own destiny in terms of getting a first round bye, but they just got to keep winning. And then their final game of the season will be up against Dino and Doids.
I just want to shout it out, even though it happened a minute ago. That was a crazy roll on the Tree Spirit phase transition from Shura. I've only done that once, I think. Oh, I jinxed him for the second one.
Apparently Harv is saying that they cooked that. There goes Tree Spirit and Bellarat, and now Sci-Fi gets to close this game out here with Remembrance Boss daggers or fists only. Again, will be a huge win for Time Complexity, as they will then move to 6-5. It's been a fantastic season for them. One more game left against Dino and Deutz, and then we get into the business end of things in the playoffs. Also, make sure to stick around. We still have one game left today, as we have Dino and Deutz going up against Jay and Rambler, an important game for playoff contention. Jay and Rambler in a similar spot to Sirius and Vikrash, looking to make a very late improbable push towards the postseason, while Dino and Deutz are looking to continue to secure their position into the playoffs in a very important game here. But it will go the way of Time Complexity here. A great game by them, and they get the job done 13-8. Congratulations to Time Complexity. What a win. And Sci-Fi gets up from it. He's so ecstatic. He has to get up. I think he's actually letting the dog out. But a great win there for Time Complexity. GG's. Yeah.
You can see him in the mirror way back there.
Yeah, you can see it back
honestly, there. Really well played game by all players. I think Time Complexity just had a little bit better of a board read here with staying in the base game and not really prioritizing DLC so much.
Yeah. I think also obviously that was unfortunate for Sirius with the remembrance. I mean, thankfully he noticed it, right?
Yeah.
But regardless, it was a big win for them. That kind of sealed the deal, as Time Complexity had a lead at that point, and then Sirius just being out of the game for the end there just ended it off. Not to say that things could have gone differently, but that just was unfortunately the nail in the coffin there. We'll go ahead and bring our players in here for our post-match interview.
And then I just accidentally did a good play by getting that black knife.
GG's. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. GG's. Congratulations on a great game, everyone.
Of course. This was
go
ahead. Go ahead.
No. Just start your own post-match interview. Just go.
No, I was gonna say. No. I was like, that was a good game. That's what I was saying. They played well too.
Yeah, no, they played very well. It was a very good close game.
Until we didn't.
Yeah, we
played well until we didn't.
Yeah, but
it was one death that really hurt. One death in particular.
Yeah. It's sure you had no business winning remembrances.
I did snipe. Okay. Yeah,
I died at Relana at like 10%. She clipped me like really badly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense why I got that. I was like, well, at least I get castle bosses from this. Oh, I should have prepped the grease inside.
Yeah, and then I finished Relana to get castle bosses still, and then you also did that for some reason. I thought you would go for the DLC bosses for sure.
Well, the reason is because I did Radon Godric into the DLC.
Oh, what the fuck? Why?
He was looking at castle bosses very early on.
Yeah, I wanted castle bosses and night bosses. I like that play. And I knew that, Egon's cookbooks was like the default best play, obviously, to get center square. And I was like, I was praying that you just didn't go Dancing Lion, because if you go Dancing Lion, I'm cooked. My whole play is fucking gone.
I was not planning on going for cookbooks. I wanted to go plus 24 and immediately into Belluard, but I had the fastest ADM ever. Like, he didn't even heal. And I was like, okay, let's try it. If I get it, I get it. And then I'm gonna go Belluard. And then you already marked like something. I was like, okay, well, I'm not gonna do that anymore.
Yeah, I got lucky there because I was a little bit too slow to get in, but maybe not. I don't know. I had a 15 minute in. Nice.
Yeah, you were
Yeah, I
definitely
got,
slow, but it ended up in the end it worked out for you, right? But yeah.
Yeah, I ended up checking Greatsword, which was Alabaster's. And in most cases, you don't ever use that for a DLC rush. But since I am going Altus, the Somber Stones are so free. But honestly, dude, Alabaster's on Rolana. I don't know why or both bosses, dude. They were tanky as fuck.
Yeah, I
Bro,
mean,
I played Spike Club and it was the best fucking weapon ever. It melted
Yeah.
everything.
What?
Fight Club
It
did
was
work.
surprisingly
Yeah, like
strong.
Sirius was
Wait, what did
behind
you
you.
use?
Sirius was behind you going into Rolana. Like you were ahead, but Fight Club was way better than Alabaster's.
Double status.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah,
Devil's
And that
Status
Yeah,
is
was-
also
great.
after me,
fuck it. I'm
also
using
after Meteor, I
Spike next
pumped.
one, I guess.
Yeah, after Meteor, I pumped 50 strength, right? So I was just going through.
Yeah, and that death was so
Yeah,
unfortunate for you, Sirius, because you were having such a clean fight, and then the one time you do get tagged, she goes straight into the spinny move of death, right?
That's
Yeah,
have
I
to
was
do
I
it
was waiting one
hitless.
attack to get healed, to get a heal off, and then she does that thing, and I was like, oh my god. And then I got really badly clipped because he was in a really awkward position.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that does suck. I mean, this what was I gonna say? Oh, no, like after that, like because even if you get for remembrances, like dude, this game is like I legit was counting swears. I was like, I don't even know how to fuck you close this game out. Everything is so spread apart. I'm fucked on DLC Rim because I killed both the easy remembrances. I have to go run to maybe PK.
I also I had that prepped. I had Sunflower's weapon ready for Radan, and I also had Radan Grace. I went
Yeah,
to the
thank
fight
God
once,
you
but
would
I
have
thought,
you would have mismarked. So thank God.
why?
Oh,
DLC
no.
remembrance
To kill a
boss.
DLC remembrance boss.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that square was gone from me because usually the only bosses that you do with that square is Rolana and Lion, and I killed both of them already. So I was like, welp. I was like, I'm locked out of this one. I'm behind on Metter. I was like, we need to
dude,
like,
I
we need to
didn't even
snipe
read
them on
that.
these other things.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
We were dreading that.
Bro, I
That
hate
didn't
that
do
square.
Fire Giant was stupid. That I didn't do Fire Giant was stupid. I should have done
Can we
that.
remove
Yeah,
that?
you should have definitely. Yeah, I was honestly shocked that I got away with Fire Giant. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's such a
because-
stupid thing. Why do I go fucking Demi-Human Queensifier instead? Just go Fire Giant.
I told him to
wouldn't
go
have
Aldous Plateau bosses. I think he would have gotten that
I
maybe.
would have lost that. I would have lost that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I
possible.
needed. Yeah, I
Well,
would have
you
lost that.
you guys just put Vikrash in a very tough spot because Physic Tears is just such. I will say you routed it absolutely beautifully, like 10 out of 10 for the synergy and the routing. But even so, like Physic Tears is a very long square to get pushed into, right?
Yeah.
I should have
Column was
maybe.
nasty, dude.
What I should have done
Matter
is
and physics
kill
tears.
Wormface. I should have killed Wormface instead of the Leonia one, like the Leonia tree avatar. That was such a long way from
Yeah.
nothing. And
I was
if
worried
just
you did
killed
that.
Wormface, yeah.
I finished with the black knife into Wormface, and the black knife is a dagger check.
Oh,
So-
that's beautiful. Yeah,
I never
like
checked
that.
those stock. Hey, did he add anything?
Oh, is that we
I
were?
didn't check a single
We saw you
thing.
kill Gostock, and we were like, is he actually gonna check his shop, or did he just rando pill to kill him? We weren't sure.
No, I was saying that I want to check him later. I mean, with Wild Strikes and Frostbite, he just dies so fast. Just pick him up really quick, right?
Yeah.
I'm such a lazy person. I ran past Bella Merchant and I still I looked at it and I was like, nah. I was like, I don't care. I was like, I didn't want to do the Dagger's Fist only square, so I was like, nah. This
I couldn't.
I'm not
I couldn't
checking
check Bella
anything.
Merchant. I couldn't check Bella Merchant because I got the int here and then continued running from there to my car. So,
That's
Were
smart,
you using
yeah.
Alabasters then?
No.
no, I was using Meteoric Oreblade.
Oh, that's
I
a
We
good
never
considered
did
that, actually.
Yeah, that's
check.
fine.
It
Like,
actually
that weapon
wasn't.
is pretty good.
This
Yeah,
the
it
weapon
wasn't.
works with everything
pretty
on this
good.
board.
I
Yeah.
think it's
Yes.
gotten a bad rap. It was better than I thought it would be because I think it's gotten a bad rap from DLC rando, like particularly in formats where you can actually get damage from leveling because it's like you need strength dex and it just doesn't scale well. But if you're just scaling off of weapon level and nothing else, it performs quite well.
Yeah, in base game it's really good.
Thorny Cracked here. I also had Thorny Cracked here, right? That was the first thing I basically did. I went Altus, I went to Snowfield, I collected the stones, I died once to reset my physic at the Statue of America, and then I killed the Avatar. That set me up.
I was scared you were gonna see the castle bosses, revenants, and 5 Altus bosses play, and I was like, bro.
I saw it. I saw it too late though.
Because that's why I told I know I sent Sai over there kind of to kill a castle boss for no reason, but like I needed him to show that he was like he did like Elmer or castle bosses, so if a crash just doesn't steal it away. Because if you steal that away, like my whole Radon play is cooked. Like that was the only reason I was
thinking about stealing that, but I would have needed a fist or a dagger to kill Godric. Otherwise, I never do that square, right? And I never checked anything, so
that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why would I ever kill Godric without it?
Yeah, well, GG's, gentlemen. Thank you so much for a great game. It was a pleasure to be able to call it, as always. Also to Sirius and McCrash, thank you for your flexibility yesterday, because I know I wasn't there, but thank you for your flexibility. That was a great game as well. And we
lost by 2 seconds.
Yeah, we lost by 2 seconds. I'm still.
Yeah, I saw the end of it. That was really tough.
If I don't take the Grace in front of Suamok, which I shouldn't have, I think we get it.
Well, if I just go for a random square and we would have won. Just a random square. But no, I want to. I go back to base game and go for stupid cated bosses.
But us also not seeing that it's a DLC rem, by the way, we are so tired, both of us. Like, yeah.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you guys.
These races are always so late. It's kind of I'm awake since 6 a.m. like for almost 18 hours now. So
in my defense,
was like 4 hours in 2 days.
In my defense, when you submitted your availability, that's what they said. But
because that's the only time I can really. Yeah, that's the only time I can really make sure I'm not at work or something. Right?
Yeah, I just don't want people thinking like I'm an evil overlord, making you guys, putting you guys in the bingo sweatshop, even though I kind of am.
No, you should just take the take the US and move it somewhere else.
Yeah. Well,
so it has different times.
Well, GG's. Thank you guys so much for playing.
GG, this was fun.
We will be right back. Also, be sure to stay around. Be here next weekend. As we talked about, we have a charity event next weekend. And Sirius will be debuting a randomizer racing format.
Since we lost, I'm canceling that.
All right. All right. Okay. This just Sirius hates kids with mental health issues. Confirmed.
Hello. That's not what I said.
Sirius is gonna be hosting a rando race for a charity event that will be kind of a precursor to a rando league that he will be hosting in the future. So be sure to be around for that, and we be sure to stay around as we have one more game left. Dino and Deutz versus Jay and Rambler. Cronies, thank you so much for joining me. Everyone, thank you so much for playing. To the community, love you all. Thank you all so much, and we will be right back.
Good night.